Hello and welcome to episode 64 of Champion the Gamer. I'm joined by the wonderful Louise. How are you, first of all?
I'm not too bad, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. I'm excited for this because you do stuff that we don't often get to speak about on here.
Ah,
Tell us in the origins part who you are, what you do, and all that.
yeah. So I'm Louise Schofield. I'm a presenter and content creator. I present in loads of different kind of realms. I do a bit in gaming and sport, but also like music. Music is like one of the main things that I do. And then I've also started streaming as well. So I like stream as well now, which is so much fun. And I've been a gamer for a long time, but to be able to just stream so easily now, it's so good. So yeah, so it's nice to add that to the roster and the bow.
Because Spill the Sound, talked about it. What is it?
Yeah. So Spill the Sound is my little music show. And it's on YouTube. It's basically filmed in TV quality. So I saw a gap in the market for music TV. I love music TV, see, when I was growing up and stuff. And it doesn't really get done anymore. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna fill the space in. If no one's gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. So Spill the Sound is a quirky music TV show inspired by the noughties kind of MTV, very like pop world kind of shows like that, if anyone remembers those. But to make it kind of modern day and into this digital audience realm, we've decided to put the artist in a bathtub, and the bathtub is full of balls. And they just talk about the music and we have a little chat. And then they also play some live sessions. So I kind of say it's a bit like Jules Holland on acid, really. So
Yeah,
it's that kind
Jules
of vibe.
Holland meets Kevin Hart meets MTV, right?
Yeah,
That's what
all
we're
these
going
bits.
for,
That's
right?
a really good way of describing it. Yeah, all these kind of
Yeah.
different off-kilter things, but it's super fun, and the artists love coming on the show. So it's been great to make, and I would love and carry on making it. It's been great.
I was going to say, because you've got that, like, I mean, a niche is probably a strong term, but it's true. It's a niche that you found. How have you managed to sort of maintain that the whole way through? Because it's hard to keep that kind of, you have an image of what you want to start with, and then to
Yes.
carry that through is always tricky. How have you found that journey? Has that been a struggle? Has it been nice and easy for you?
It has been, I mean, I was really lucky. So the venue that we work with, so I'm kind of partnered with them on it, and they let me have free realm on the idea. Because getting a bathtub and having that as an initial idea, it does sound a bit left field, a little bit weird. But yeah, and I think like it was kind of we did have to find the bath, and it took a long time. I think like we had to drive quite far into I can't remember where it was, but we got the bath from, but it was from this like the other side of the country just to get this tin bath that was just perfect for the show. I mean, it shows how durable those things are because we've been doing the show for about 2 years and it hasn't broken yet. And we've had many artist bums in there, do you know what I mean? So but I think it's always one of those as well. It's like in that with that concept, would an artist be up for jumping in? And they are fully clothed, by the way. It's not very OnlyFans or anything like that. Like it's out of topic. It sounds a bit weird. But our band's up for kind of getting in the bath and having a chat. And you know what? They are, because I always thought I wasn't sure if they were gonna be on board with it. But you know what? I mean, we've had some bands on recently, and they've said, this is becoming iconic now, and every band kind of needs to be in this bath on the way up, and all this stuff. So yeah, it's getting some great attraction. We've had our first bands from overseas come over to do it as well. Well, they were coming over anyway to pay, but that's what I always wanted was bands from across the world as well to play, and the fact we've ticked that off already is wild.
And we should preface the fact with you said that it's tin bath with they're fully clothed, obviously,
Yeah, yeah,
but they're also plastic balls. They're not like whatever.
yes.
But you've got all these artists coming in, all these different people coming in. What is that like? Just give us an insight on that, because I reckon they must love it personally. Because you get
Yeah.
it's like junkets nowadays are so long and media's so long and everything. Stuff like that is fun, right? How do they find it?
Yeah, they do. I think we we have had instances where the management for some reason hasn't briefed them before, so they get there and they're like, wait, what's the bath? And like, oh, you doing the interview? And they're like, well, that's so cool. I didn't know that. And I'm like, oh my God, thank God you've said that, because I was like, oh my goodness, what if you say no? But yeah, usually they get there, and the ones that know about it as well, they're so excited to get in, and that makes me so happy. Like, and I think it just breaks down this barrier because my interviews are really chatty anyway. They're very chill. They're very like, it's like conversation, a bit like this, and I think it just breaks down their walls a bit, and they're so excited to get in. Because you think that some of those artists they want to see, oh, I want to see me getting in the bath to see what I look like first and all that stuff. But they're great, like they're just here for it. And to be honest, we've got loads of compilations of people's reactions when they first get in, and everyone's so different. But it's so fun to see. It's so nice.
Because you must have people that go, I'm bored of this now. Because it's a draining like stuff to be in, right? Just the whole
Mm.
industry as it is. Any kind of content creation, any kind of media like is like taxing. It's hard.
It
So to have
is.
that different thing to do must be awesome. Where's that idea? Like, have you got a background in media, a background in that kind of thing, or what?
Yeah, so I've done I kind of my background really started out in music presenting. So I always wanted to be a music presenter when I was like 18, that was my goal. I was like, I'm gonna be a music presenter, that's what I want to do. So I basically used to go down to loads of music festivals and I used to go down to loads of gigs and I'd just interview loads of bands. I'd get press passes and I'd take my camera and my microphone and I'd interview like as many bands as I could. And I made a YouTube channel at the time and I was putting them all on there and stuff. And as I started to do that, like I started to make up a show reel and things like that. So like unbeknownst to me, like I was actually getting myself out there and I was becoming that girl. I was based in Cardiff at the time, so that's where I was at uni. I was becoming that girl that was all the gigs. And then people started to notice me at these festivals that I was kind of doing and things. And I think you kind of have to be in those spaces to be noticed. I didn't really realize that, but and that's kind of the best way really because I was doing it organically rather than like trying to force myself in those places. But then people started to recognize you and you're like, oh yeah, I saw you interviewing blah blah blah, or I've seen your interview with, and that started to get really nice. And that's all I ever wanted really was the recognition. And because on my interviews I always work really hard and I try to kind of research every nook and cranny. So then it kind of like snowballed, and then I got myself an agent, and then I started to go into different areas of presenting, which was really fun. But for me, the core has always been music. So I always wanted to have something music based while I present other different things as well. I wanted to be a presenter as a whole, really, but having that music show is like my kind of like anchor really now because I've got that step like on its own, and then I can do my other stuff. So, but yeah, it's taken a lot of graft and a lot of being different places, but. All of that graft that I used to do at festivals has put me in good stead now because, a lot of these bands that I interviewed when they were like kind of smaller, they've got really big now. And, when I asked for an interview, they're like, yep, Louise can have one, absolutely. Do you know what I mean? So it's that trust that you build up as well. And I think that's what I've always ever wanted is people to be like, yeah, Louise will do a good interview. It might not be the biggest thing in the world. Like, it's not BBC or it's not Channel 4, but it's like, she's good and she knows what she's doing. And especially with the setup, it's like, yeah, this is cool. So it's building up that trust and stuff. But it's been nice to be on the journey.
Well, I've said that about any kind of content creation. The internet is
Yeah.
so endless now
Oh
that
my gosh.
there's so many professional settings and everything that you can jump into. But
Yeah.
actually, it takes work. There's no overnight stuff anymore. And the fact
No,
there is always massive corporations and massive stuff going on, having your own kind of like community is just as if not more important now than it ever has been.
I
So for you
agree.
to do that makes a lot more sense and is beneficial to you in the long run because people know who you are and know that you're coming from a good place. Do
That's
you
it.
do you play any instruments or sing or have you got any?
Um, I dabble in drums. I'm not the best, but and I also can't have a full drum kit because I live in a one bed flat and like the walls are too thin. So that is like I call it the toy drum kit. So yeah, so I play drums, but I never really share it that much because on my like socials and stuff, I do have quite a big music following of bands that are very good at what they do. So I'm like, oh, you know. But yeah, no, I do like drums. I think is a release for me. I've always loved drums. I always wanted to do drums. I do have a guitar and I can play a little bit, but it's not my main instrument really, and I don't practice enough a guitar to be that good. But drums is my little baby that I love it.
But you say about bands like not being impressed or whatever, but like I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been John Barrowman said that everyone's got a voice.
That's so
It
true.
might suck, but everyone has
Yeah,
got a voice, so they
that's
should be able
it.
to sing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so true. Actually, I think it's just I think like playing instruments, it's an expression, isn't it? It
Hmm.
is literally an expression. So it's like how if you want to put something out there and it might not be completely polished, but like you said, it's your voice. It is yours. That is so true, and it's what you want to put out. And I think you've just got to back yourself, haven't you? If you like something and you're proud of something and you're happy with something, back yourself and do it because people on the internet and the internet is so quick. You know what I mean? I always think that now, like you put something out and you might think, oh my gosh, I've put something out. Oh my God, are people going to hate it? And you think people just scroll past. You think of it much more of a big deal than it actually is, really, don't you? I think in your own
Yeah, I mean,
head.
I've made the analogy loads where it's a big ocean, the internet,
Yeah.
and it's completely as it is now, as the real ocean is toxic,
Yeah.
horrible. There's little islands of positive places.
Yeah.
Take your boat with you and go to an island,
Yeah.
jump on another island and go away again. Don't worry about the sea part of it because
Yeah.
otherwise you'll be there endlessly.
Oh, yeah.
Have you got a level of confidence that's always been there, or has it kind of come along the way?
It's definitely come along the way. I mean, believe it or not, as a kid, I was so shy. Like up until the age of 18, I was extremely shy. I went and did drama when I was 12, and that I found, and I think that was where for me that was a big wake up call for me because I was so shy. But when I was on stage and being another character, I was fine. I was like, I could do it. But then I'd come off stage and I was really shy again. And people were like, I can't believe you're doing acting. This is wild to me. And I think you kind of just like pull a confidence from somewhere. And I think like still when I'm in certain situations, like that shyness does come out a little bit. If like someone's quite overbearing and I'm like more, like a bit more so than me, then I will kind of go into my little shell a little bit. But yeah, I think you kind of learn to control it and learn to kind of build it up and just you get quietly confident in your own abilities as well. And you're like, and you're like, okay, no, I deserve to be here. Like, if you're in a situation where you think you've got imposter syndrome, you're like, well, no, I have done this, this, and this. So I do deserve to be here on that respect. So yeah, it's confidence is a thing that I've learned. And I think as you get older, you just think, you know what, what are you afraid of now? Like, do you know what I mean? Just be yourself, be you. And, I am a very bubbly person naturally, and I am very out there. And with my friends, I'm like that. So why not just be that like that all the time, and just this, it's just no time to be shy anymore, really. So yeah, it's something I built.
Which makes that more endearing, though, if you've got those shy moments and you've got those little moments to yourself. Because I've always said about the camera, like people say
Yeah.
about putting themselves on the camera is difficult.
Yeah.
It sounds a bit odd, but I don't really find that. I find being out in a pub somewhere more scary than being in front of a camera. Do you have that same sort of thing? Because you
I
quite,
do. Yeah, I think it's with like with a camera. I think like it's kind of you just think it's you and the camera, isn't it? It's like, you're just like talking to a friend. Whereas when if you're in like a pub or something in that kind of setting, then there's loads of people. I think it's the kind of knowing there's other people around you, isn't it? And knowing that like they can hear you or they can see what you're doing. You're thinking, oh, are they like looking at me doing something weird, and things like that. Because I think like when I do like street interviews and stuff like that, I'm fine. I'll walk up to anyone and I'll do it. But I think that's the presenting I don't like the best because it's the anxiety of going up to random people on the street in that environment. Whereas like if I'm just doing, presenting at a festival and with a production crew, I'm fine. But yeah, there is something about being around people and random people that you've got to kind of like, be yourself around. It is weird. But I think with a camera, you could just sit there and just chat to it like a friend, can't you?
and then that's completely right. Because I said before, you can edit stuff and you can make
Yeah.
it's live's a little bit different. I get that, but so
Yeah.
even so, it's still just me and a camera.
Yeah.
So you've always had this bubbly personality. You said it yourself, and you're
Yeah.
whatever. But like, have you always been interested in people? Is that where this main thing comes from?
Yeah, I think so. I love creative people. Like I just love people with ambition. I love people with drive. I love creativity. And yeah, I do. I love talking to people. I love meeting new people. And I think connecting with people as well because I'm someone that I'll make friends with people pretty quickly as well. I'll just kind of like I don't understand people that are rude to anybody. I'm just like I don't understand you. If someone's rude to you, okay, fair enough. You kind of have to react accordingly. But yeah, I love people. And I did a series once when I was kind of starting out as a presenter, and it was called Louise Looks. And I went round and like did a documentary style thing with like creative people that were doing something a little bit different. And I think there's some really interesting people in the world. And I think you know you don't know until you talk to someone who you're talking to, and I love that. Like, and you find out things about people, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's really cool, or they've built something, or they've done something, or they're like raising money, or I don't know. Until you get to know people, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's so sick, and I didn't know you did that. I just love finding those little moments about people, and and connecting with those.
That's why I'm doing this because
Yeah,
I had Antonia on. She's like, "Oh yeah, I'm a black belt in karate.
that's
I've
sick.
made my own computers." I'm like, "Why? How? When? When do you have
Incredible.
time for this?" And
Yeah,
that's why I love doing it. It's called champion the gamer, yes, but it's champion the person really as well. Because I think it's important that we learn. Everyone's a little bit different. Everyone's got
yeah.
some bobs to them. Yeah,
They're little bits. That's exactly it. I love
yeah.
that.
Because are you getting a chance to speak to some of these bands, some of these artists, a bit more intimately off camera? Maybe get more friendships from that, or not?
Yeah, so a lot of the time, sometimes at festivals it's a bit on the fly because they've got sort of loads of different press they're doing. Usually though, I will because I know I like to calm the people in. I like to give them a bit of calm time. So I feel like if I can chat to them and have funny banter, then they're fine, and then it kind of sets the precedent for the interview, and they're kind of already hyped up, and I get the kind of good vibes out of them. But yeah, I've made so many friends, musicians and stuff, and I think I just chat to them like such normal people. Like when they come in, like some of the bigger ones that we have and stuff, and you just chat to them like normal people, have a bit of banter with them, and then it starts. And I think that's really nice because I think, and also I find like from conversations like that, you get like nice nuggets that you can put in the interview as well. And you go, oh, like, you know, and because I can say, oh, you mentioned earlier that you did this. And sometimes in the interview, they go, like I was saying to you earlier. And I think that's really nice because I think that shows as well. We've had a bit of a chat before. The artist is like revealing to the audience what they said. Oh, but we already spoke about that, you know. And yeah, pretty much everyone I've ever interviewed, we've had a nice kind of rapport. So, which is very, very good.
And I've said you're 64, and I've said there's going to be ones where it's like, I don't agree with that, but
Yeah.
that's fine. You're
Yeah.
allowed to do that, and I think the way you handle that is really important. And I think for myself, it's obvious that you've got this ability and acceptance. Like everyone's a bit different, everyone's got different opinions. It's fine, but otherwise,
Absolutely.
it's all fine. It's all great. It's all
That's
lovely.
it. That's
Doesn't,
it.
it doesn't need to be horrible. Get into now a little bit about your gaming. Then, where's that come from? What's your gaming like? What are you gaming day to day?
So because I've always been a gamer like growing up and things like that, and I think that's one thing people never really expected about me. I think because when I tell people that I do that now that aren't don't see watch my streams or anything, they're like, what, really? And so I think for me, like I loved horror games, but I was always too scared to play them on my own. I obviously played some of the originals, like some of the original Resident Evils and all that kind of stuff, and Outlast and all that stuff. But I wanted to start. I don't know, like putting it out there. 'Cause I think I noticed that when I game, I kind of talk to myself, and I was like, I'm talking to myself anyway. Why don't I just stream them? So I remember trying. I think it was like three years ago. I tried it on YouTube, not live. I just did the pre-recorded thing where you play the game and then obviously like you upload it that way because I could edit it then. And I did Resident Evil 7, and I kept doing those. I put like little snippets of them on Instagram, and people like really enjoyed them. So I was like, oh, okay, so you know let me think about doing it in a live setting. So then I started Twitch. But I think the horror genre, I think I streamed horror games, then everyone was finding it quite funny because I'm a bit like all over the place. And like I think I call all the characters like Barry and Gary and Margaret and just these random people, and people were starting to find that really funny. So I was like, okay, I think I need to stick with horror because I think horror it kind of works. And I think like because I come from a comedy background as well, I just feel like you can do a lot of comedy with horror because the jump scares and like just like the whole environments and things, and there's endless horror games, which is great. So I kind of just like fell into doing horror, and I love it now. Like, and I think we're slowly building up a little community, and I'm really enjoying it. That come every day, and I tend to stream the weekdays from 7, so I do the evenings, but I want to do a few more daytime ones as well. Like I've got loads of ideas that I want to do. And we're doing more diverse streams now as well. So mainly I still do horror pretty much every day. But yesterday we decided to do a Wednesday. We're going to do like a non-horror game. So I started Red Dead Redemption 2 again, which is quite nice. It breaks the week, but because I love all games, but I think the horror is my favorite to stream just because it's funny and they love coming along. People just love coming along for the rides. Or if you've played the horror game and jump scares come in. Because I used to watch a lot of the horror streamers like like Daz Games. I used to watch PewDiePie. I used to watch Jacksepticeye, like all of those. So yeah, I love it.
I love what you said about the genre being able to just diversify itself in a weird way. Because I had Ash Millman on, and she loves horror, and she
Yeah.
was it's fabulous because you get all this like you can be serious, you can be funny, you can be quirky, you can be like thriller-esque, you can
Yeah.
be eerie, all in
Yeah.
one genre. It's fabulous. Resi, yes. Is there any more that you would sort of go? That's my favorite series. That you're a Silent Hill
Oh.
person, you're an Outlast person. What where are you going with that?
Outlast is definitely one of the goats for me. Like I think I just find Outlast so short. I want more. That's why I liked Outlast 2 because Outlast 2 was really long, and I think the Whistleblower is one of the best DLCs I've ever played. I think that's absolutely incredible. I do love the Resident Evil genres. I do love. I've never played 5 and 6 though. But I know they're a bit more actiony. But I actually played them backwards in terms of remakes and stuff. So I'd actually never played Resident Evil 4 original. So when I played the remake, I went straight into the remake, and the remake was just incredible. But I think the first Resident Evil game that I'd played, I think I'd played the 2 only, which was original, the 2 back on the PlayStation, PlayStation 2. I think I played that on, and then. When I kind of started streaming again, I'd missed all the remakes and stuff, and I went straight to 7, and I loved 7 so much because that's why I'm so excited for Resident Evil 9 because apparently it's going to be the same vibe as 7. I'm so excited. So I've played 8, 7, 3, 2, and 4. And the remakes as well are great. But I love the Resident Evil franchise. There's a game, one of the best games I've played horror-wise that I think is just a gem is Visage. I think that's incredible. That is such a great game. And then I played a game called Madison, which scared the absolute bejeebers out of me. I think that's a really underrated game. I love that. And one of my favorite series though is the Dark Pictures anthology series.
Oh,
I
nice.
adore those games so much. I'm so excited for the next one to come out this year. I love Little Nightmares as well. I like a universe that I love to see. But yeah, Dark Pictures are like, I got to interview the guy from Supermassive Games actually, who puts them all together before Devil in Me came out. And it was just like, that was a little dream come true. I was like, oh, no, that's great. I like, you know what I mean? I was like pricking his brains for ages, but I only had like 10 minutes with him. And like, but I want to ask more. But yeah, I love those series. I love those kind of choice games. They're great.
And that Resi 9 thing,
Oh.
I think that might get me back into the series, because it's going back to Raccoon City, and it's going back to its roots a little
It
bit.
is, it is, and
Yeah.
I'm interested to see because obviously I thought it got destroyed out of its mind, to be honest. I mean, like after three, do you know what I mean? Boom, gone. But hey, it's still there. It's made of some steel, that place. But yeah, no, and I think they've got the horror elements, and I think they're going back to the stalking thing as well. I know they always have a bit of a stalking thing, don't they, in those games? But it looks like from what I've seen, they've got like a creature stalking you, and I'm like, I'm gonna be so stressed, and it's gonna be great.
Have you always enjoyed that, the stress part of it, the part of it? Has that always been part of your lexicon? Because like people can't necessarily enjoy that always. It's not always their thing.
No, it's kind of like, I mean, the frustrating thing is when you're dying so many times and you're on stream, you're like, oh my God, like I am stuck on Silent Hill 2, the Eddie boss. I can't get past him. And I'm gonna have to do it off stream and then go back. So I haven't finished Silent Hill 2, the remake, because of that. But yeah, no, I think I think sometimes I can feel my face like when you're in a boss fight and I'm stressed and I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting chased by all these zombies and I can't get past it. I can feel my face just like being like doing like like trying to like shoot things and I can feel the concentration in my face. Other times I think it's funny if I'm running away from, that's why Outlast is funny because you don't fight, you just run, which is my favorite type of gameplay in horror games, like because a lot of time I will just run. So I think I quite like that because it's funny and you're just like go and you do like funny stressy things. But so yeah, stressful good when you're running away. When you're in a boss fight, not my favorite. When you're on stream and everyone's like anticipating for you to do it, and you're like, oh, sorry guys, one more go.
Do you? Because obviously, going back to the whole music thing, like music's a big
Yeah.
part of games, right? Do you
Yeah.
take stock of that? Do you care much about soundtracks and themes and all that?
Absolutely. I think the first time I ever sort of started to love soundtracks in games was Zelda. I think like I just think they're beautiful. Like I remember I bought because I used to play it on like Game Boy and stuff like that, and I used to absolutely love it on those things. But then when I got it on the Wii, I got this special edition of Skyward Sword, and it came with the orchestral CD as well. And it's just amazing. Like I don't know, it's just the music's beautiful, and the game design of Zelda, like the way they've gone through and the way they just create the universes, I'd love them so much. And I think there's a charm to them as well, some of the older ones as well, when they're kind of like, they are like bitty, they are quite blocky, but I love it. And I think with the music, I think games, they really do kind of set the scene with music. And I think, like, I mean, that Resident Evil 7 like intro music became quite iconic as well with those like don't tell us like literally it sets the scene really nicely. But also like games like FC 25 and FIFA and all those kind of games, it's been a great launch pad for musicians as well. So I had a guy on my show the other day who's had his track featured on FC 25, which is so cool. And I think like a lot of people find new artists through games like FIFA and FC 20 and FC and all that kind of stuff. So, it's great that I love sound design in games, and I love the opportunity that, and some of the skateboarding games as well, like back in the day. And, like there's like a room for like artists and snowboarding as well to like have their music out there. So not only is it great to like hear like some really great music crafted for gameplay, there's also games that give artists a chance to get their stuff out there to a massive audience as well. It's insane.
Have you seen, coming up in both those kind of industries, have you
Yeah.
seen more of a acceptance and understanding from musicians that gaming can be a route for them?
Massively, absolutely massively. I think like a lot of artists I speak to, they're like, I want my song on FIFA. Like if that is a goal for me, if I get my song on FC, I am absolutely balling. Like I am loving life. Like that is especially a lot of the indie artists that we have, like, they love, that's what they want then, because it does go viral and people will be like, I heard that song on FIFA, I heard that song there, and they're like, oh, sick, and it goes worldwide. I think, but I think like even like designing, like game design and stuff like that, when we talk about the more sort of crafted sounds for games, there's a lot of musicians that are so talented in so many different instruments and create things. If they got someone like, like Hans Zimmer to come and, make some music, there is a massive crossover there. And I think having anything in a game is just, I mean, I'd love to be in a game. I'd love to be one of those people, like when they CGI you in and it's like, that's my face in the game.
Well, I think that's my follow up was going to be like, you look at Hideo Kojima
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
any one of these people that might be reaching out to artists
Yeah.
to make little samples or sounds or
Yeah.
full songs, even that maybe in the past it would have been a bit more taboo, but I feel like now artists must love it.
Oh,
Come,
yeah.
come and get me kind of vibe. You
Oh,
know,
absolutely. I think they know the global scale of gaming as well. I think that's the thing. Like the thing is with games, like they're not just for a certain country. They go everywhere. Like, you know what I mean? There's versions of the games in every nook and cranny of the world. So I think, and then to have your little name in the credits or like to say, look, I've made music for this game. How incredible. Like how and thinking that like millions of people have heard that. Like it's insane. It's insane.
so if you're going to voice act someone or be a character in a game, which game is it?
Ooh, that's a great question. That is a great question. Who would I love to be? I've
Can be
always
yourself, by the way. I want to put that out
that's it.
there.
I could just put Louise Go in there. Let's go.
Yeah.
I don't know how well I'd do. Joe, I used to love Tomb Raider growing up. I did always think Lara Croft was badass. I did always think Lara Croft was badass. With completely different looks. We're not. I ain't got the brown hair and the vibes. But if she ever just wanted to dye her hair for a season, I'd love to give that a go. I just feel like I'd like to just swing off bars and just like I think that'd be so fun. I think I'd be like the northern version of Lara Croft. So I'd take away Croft Manor. Maybe we'd be, I don't know, in a pub in Manchester instead. That's where she lives at the top of a pub in Manchester. That's the Lara Croft from the north.
Oh, no, we had a question recently, which was what would so Lara Croft's takeout order be? And I was like, she would either
Ooh,
be a super like small bougie burgers you can get,
yeah,
caviar type stuff, or she'd
yeah.
be in a pub in Manchester, for example, with a Guinness and something else. So
Yeah, I
it's
think I
possible.
think she's a dark horse. I think she's got two sides, hasn't she? She's got the Croft Manor vibes, then she's also got let's have a mad one. Do you know what I mean? Let's
Yeah,
go. Laura on
100%.
tour.
All right, let's get into more about you as a gamer then. So we do hot takes and solid debates. So this is your chance to throw out any gaming related hot take you might have, or I can throw one at you. But have you got anything that really like might stifle some opinions on games?
Do you know what? Not so much really. I think the only thing that I gripe with is just like exclusives. Like that, I hate that you can play one game on one console and not another. Like I had to play a PC. I have to play. I had to buy a PC, which is fine because it's either Sony horror games I wanted to play because I was streaming from my Xbox for such a long time. I think like I know obviously there's all this thing with like different studios and different studios are linked with different like platforms and stuff, but it's the most annoying thing. Like I couldn't play Until Dawn. I've only just played Until Dawn this year and The Last of Us because I've got a PC. And like I've always had an Xbox. And I think it's just the exclusives make me sad. I think like maybe I'm not a big fan of the Xbox exclusive personally. Apart from Hellblade, that's the only Xbox exclusive I like. But I think yeah, exclusives do grind my gears because I'm like I really want to play that. And I want to, and when I started streaming, people were like, can you play this, play that? I'm like, I'd have a PlayStation, so no. And I'd have a PC, so no. So now I've got a PC, I've fixed the problem. But I'm still playing with a controller because I'm not keyboard and mouse literate. When I have to do keyboard and mouse, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to die about 7 times. But I'm getting used to it. But yeah, so that's the only thing for me that really gripes me is like exclusives on certain platforms. I'm like, oh, I should play on
I'm just
everything.
going to slightly cry in Halo. You
Yeah, oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Xbox exclusives are rubbish.
So
Yeah, I'd
are
never
we
play
are we
them.
sort of in agreement though that like in a weird way it's been in front of our face the whole time where PC is kind of the formula but not the system we want because everyone loves their consoles and loves the
Yeah,
exclusives even and their own like tribal thing. Whereas
yeah.
actually what we really, really want deep down and we want to try and admit it now is just one platform, one console, like a Netflix has all of its shows on it.
I really agree. Like honestly, it's opened up my eyes so much having a PC because like you don't have any restrictions. I think everything comes out on PC, doesn't it? Like, I mean, you're never gonna like skimp out. And I think Xbox is a nice thing though, where it's got the kind of PC gameplay that you can do as well. That kind of that is nice. But yeah, that's what I think. Like I think the PC is like the be all and end all. I think it opened up so many doors to me. Like I can access so much more on a PC. And I think I don't know, as a system, everything's there. And I think gaming is built for PC. It just is built for PC. It just, in terms of ease, I mean, I still put my controller into the PC. But even that, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not restricting me. It's not like you have to play keyboard and mouse. Well, a lot of the indie games you do, which is fine. But I learn it. I mean, I like to learn new skills. I mean, in a horror game, when you're in a high pressure situation and you're not used to, you know, WS AD, it can be interesting. But yeah, but no, I think PC is a bit of a all rounder, isn't it?
Because I don't know if you obviously you said about the living situation or like people might have different sized houses or flats and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Space isn't a massive thing everyone's got. So I've never
no,
been a person to say like you can't have an emulator, you can't have these little systems are called, you can't have those.
yeah,
Get the physical stuff. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I love this stuff myself.
yeah.
So I think it's important people remember that. Like go and get what you can get and play them because games meant to be played.
But that's exactly it. Like whatever the eases are. And do you know what? Like I always thought like because PCs obviously like they can break the bank a little bit if you're going really, really high end. But like I mean I got mine and it was great. It wasn't as expensive as I thought and it was, it does the trick. And I think there's like a misconception. I think people think, oh my God, I'm gonna spend so much money or like because they are quite big. Like it does take a lot of desk, but I think it's what you like. I mean, I love the look of a PC with with the RGB lights coming through. I love it. I think it's really nice. So I think it's just it's like it's what your personal preference is really. But just get what works. And like you said, like games are meant to be played. Like whatever makes it easiest for you to be able to play it, do it. If it's for your enjoyment, isn't it? So
That's why I've said, and it's a bit of a weird way of getting there, but I've said about transactions. So they're not
yeah.
actually a bad thing in the
You
long
know.
term, in my opinion, if they're policed correctly,
Oh yeah.
because they're there to stay anyway. And if it can keep a game's shelf life longer and they're not extravagant, I'm fine with that, kind of.
That's it. I think I think it enhances the gameplay sometimes as well, doesn't it? If you're really into a game and you want to change, I don't know, buy a new outfit or like buy something or upgrade things, then I think it aids your gameplay and if it keeps the games going because games are expensive to make. Like when you're doing, especially like even like not just triple A's, like some of the like I mean Unreal Engine's amazing. Like it means anyone can access and create a game now, which I think is really cool. But it's expensive to do. So it's not a cheap thing.
People always say that, like, because obviously there's less physical media now in terms of like discs or tapes, but actually,
Yeah.
the studios are much bigger, so it's more expensive anyway. So, you need those things that, like, if a game was cheaper on the front end,
Yeah.
have more of a not necessarily free, but a lot cheaper, and then
Yeah.
like a monthly subscription, I can kind of get away with that. If it was
Yeah.
say, I don't know, let's say the game was 80 quid, you spent £10 up front, and then
Yeah.
tenner for a year.
Yeah. I think that's
I can live with that.
yeah, same. I think
Yeah.
I think a lot of these games like they like because if you look at GTA or like Red Dead Redemption 2, they take years to make because they're so
Mhm.
open world. They're like there's so much. I mean, even Resident Evil 9's been in the works for like 5 or 6 years, hasn't it? Like a long time. Like they teased Resident Evil 9 a long time ago, and I remember it when it was first talked about. It seems like ages ago, and I think that's it. Like the time that it takes to put into it you've kind of got to respect it in a way and go, okay, fair enough. Yeah, I think a monthly fee's fine. I mean, I pay monthly for Xbox Game Pass. You know what I mean? Like, and what you get for that is great. There's so much access, and I think, and then once it's paid off, it's paid off. You know what I mean? If you do it, like you say,
Yeah.
for a year,
I
tenner.
say because that's the problem. Is it like a World of Warcraft's the worst one because everyone's
Yeah.
had it since it came out. Is paying thousands. But if you pay
Yes.
an upfront fee and then pay like for a car, you pay for a year
Yeah.
or something every single month. That makes sense to me because then you own it afterwards.
Yeah.
Whereas
Well,
now it's
that's
with a
it.
live service.
Well, yeah, that's it. I think that's it. It's like it's an investment, isn't it? And I think if you're into a game but then you've got it for life. So it's payment for now, but then you're gonna pay that up front anyway. So paying it in chunks just feels a bit nicer with because the
Mm.
world is hard and the money is hard. But like and if I think more things are getting done that way as well because people they know people's financial situations are like different as well. And I think but it's gotta you've got to pay for you know what I mean? You can't just have the game like it doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? So you've kind of got to speculate to accumulate. It's a weird back and forth. But yeah, it's interesting though.
But proof's in the pudding because you mentioned Tomb Raider earlier. You mentioned different things earlier, but I've just played just finished Rise, the second one of the
Oh
two.
yeah.
So I'm playing the Survivor trilogy,
Oh, I love that
and
trilogy.
that's on Game Pass, and that's
Is
because
it
I have
on
Game
Game
Pass.
Pass now? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
so it gave me access to that like
Yeah.
years later.
Oh
That's what it's
yeah.
there for.
Is it your first playthrough?
Of those three, yes. I've played
Basic.
the original three I've played.
Yeah.
Not a ton, but when I was younger, I played them obviously quite a bit.
What do you think to the survival trilogy?
I think it's class, to be honest with
Great.
you. I
I
hadn't
agree.
touched base with it ever. And I blitzed the first game in about 2 days. It
Oh,
felt like
it's so
it's
good.
so good, yeah.
It's so much darker. There's blood everywhere. I'm like, there's blood in Tomb Raider. What?
She's a little bit invincible, but I can get behind that. That's all right.
Yeah, it's a little bit far-fetched. Have you played Shadow yet?
I'm about to start that today. Literally today, I'm
Oh,
going to start
that's
it.
my favorite one. You'll love it. That
Yeah.
that one's quite scary, by the way. I was
I mean,
quite
I'd
scared.
hope for a bit more tomb stuff in two.
Yeah,
A bit more, bit too much action for me,
yeah.
but it's
You
still
get
fantastic.
the,
Yeah.
the Shadow is very like creepy Tomb Raider, a lot of tombs, a lot of puzzles. I think you'll love it. You'll love it.
Because that's another. I mean, we can get into a whole debate about that, but it's like
Yeah.
the whole replay value. Like, I finished the game, the first one,
Yeah.
and I was on like 70% or something. So you can
Yeah.
still go back and play it more and just explore. That's fabulous. Give me more of
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
Games that
I
don't do
agree. And I think that's the first time we've had Tomb Raider like that as well. So like when Tomb Raider like Legend came out, an anniversary was great because it's the remake and it was fantastic. I loved it. But obviously they were still in the format where like it was like very story-led gameplay, you had the cutscenes, that's it. Whereas it is open world now, which is like insane. Like, and it's so addictive. Like, and there's so many missions you can do, especially in Rise. There's like a few little missions, and Shadow, there's loads. So if you like side quests, Shadow has loads of side quests. So, but I love that they did that. I mean, they did announce they were working on like a new game, but I don't know what's happened to that, to be honest.
It's like I said that I was in I forgot the camp's called now, where you first meet
Yeah,
Jacob, and
yeah,
there's like six random tombs.
yeah.
But this is amazing. I could spend
It,
hours on this.
you could just
Yeah,
go for it. Yeah, that's it. And
yeah,
they're just like little like trinkets, aren't they, and stuff? But
yeah.
they're like the old school Tomb Raider tombs.
No, amazing. I'll get back into you a bit later because I'm a bit curious about a few things. But we do a section called Coaches Questions. So on my TikTok page, I
Yeah.
do like question videos and discussion videos, and so I pick 4 or 5 of them out and then put them in front of you and get your reaction. So question one is, what is a game you revisit once a year?
Oh, what are do you know what? I think it is Tomb Raider. It's Tomb Raider, but it's Tomb Raider Underworld. See, I love Tomb Raider Underworld. That's my comfort game. I don't know why. I think it's the final one in that series, and I love it. I love the ending. I'm like, hello, Tomb Raider Underworld. It's just comfort.
Have you got many like comfort games? Is there like a little handful you've got that you go back to regularly?
Do you know what? I think ever since I downloaded the remakes of like Spyro and a Crash,
Crash.
they're like they make me so happy. Like Spyro was like I loved Spyro when I was younger. Like I loved playing this game, and I played them backwards. I played 3, 2, 1. So I don't know why I did that. I just bought Year of the Dragon first. I don't know why. But yeah, love Spyro. Can play Spyro to the cows come home, and the remake is just amazing. You can see things better, and it's not like PS1 Hagrid. It's great.
The PS1 Hagrid goated, by the way. Just the fact
Yeah.
he's round. It's not his fault, is it?
No, it's not. It's not his fault he's got a flat face. You know what I mean?
We've all got issues, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We've all got our things.
Yeah. Okay. So 2-part question.
Yeah.
Pick one of your favorite but random games.
Oh, what's a really random game? Okay, I think this is like a random one, but I love Croc. I used to love Croc, but
Good
I
show.
think it's like, yeah, I think the mechanics were terrible and I hated it. I kept falling off the edge, but
Mm.
I don't know. I loved it. It was really simple, but I loved Croc.
Okay. So I'll say Croc. Croc
Yeah,
is just fantastic.
yeah.
Now, pick an album that would suit that's currently not got. So pick an album to match with it as its soundtrack.
Oh, Croc. I would say. I think I'd have to go back to like an older album that I used to listen to. Do you know what? So I used to listen to a lot of rock and stuff during doing these things, but I feel like I think it'd have to be nostalgia for me. So I think I'd have to put on something like a Busted album, or
Nice.
just to like go back to that time, and like that's the age I would have played Croc when Busted's first album came out. So yeah, I think Busted would be the one for that to the nostalgia.
I kind of got I love it, but I also got the question sort of from my Tomb Raider playthrough and thinking about having you on because I was like, I had a Pink Floyd album on while I was playing it. And I was like, this
Ah.
just works, man. Give me something random. I love it.
It does. Like
Yeah.
albums, honestly, they do make it. Like with Tomb Raider, yeah, you need something rocky. I don't know when you're
Yeah.
like running around and you're shooting people, like you need something with that, like especially classic rock, Pink Floyd, that's sick. But yeah, like I used to listen to a lot of pop punk when I used to play the snowboarding games. Because sometimes I didn't like the playlist on them, so I'd like turn them off and then I'd just put my own on.
Oh,
SSX tricky.
100%. SX Tricky, SX3, I must
Yeah.
mean punk rock,
Oh yeah.
or skater rock.
Oh
Perfect.
yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. So you're lovely and bubbly and wonderful and everything. What is a minor thing in the game that really pissed you off?
Um, I hate fixed camera. I hate fixed camera. Like that's why I think like I didn't. I think I played like one of that when I faced the first Resident Evils, and then I was just like I'm so glad they took that off because I hate it. I hate it. Like I was gonna play Post Trauma. Is it a game called Post Trauma? And I'm pretty sure that that's fixed camera, and it's putting me off. I hate fixed camera so much. It's because like, I get confused on where to go, and then you're like going the wrong way, and then you're in a wall. No,
Well,
not
because
fun.
I'm with you entirely. So I've got the Mario 64
Oh
down there.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
literally 2 weeks ago put that in. And I was like,
yeah,
I don't remember it being this hard.
yeah.
You can't move the camera.
No, you can't. And then you don't. And then like you go
Yeah.
left, but it's right, and then it's like what? I'm
Yeah.
so confused.
But
Yeah,
some
fixed
games it
camera.
works really well, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
Resident kind of does work, I guess, because they're tank.
It does because you see, it's the bird. It's like the birds of you. I get what they're doing with it. I
Mm.
do, but it's just, mechanically.
But see, nowadays, I think you can blend it. Like I've been playing Baldur's Gate, and obviously that's not fixed camera, but because it isn't fixed camera, then rotated the movement stuff, so it rotates with it.
That helps.
Yeah,
Yeah, that helps.
because I mean, I've always said about mirrors as well. They bug me.
Oh,
I get,
mirrors in games.
I get that it's 2025 now, and it might
Yeah.
work now, but to render a game twice is really difficult. But it used to really bug me.
Oh, I agree. Well, I had to like when I was playing The Last of Us, like my PC couldn't handle obviously having all that graphical because I did all the remastered ones, and I just had to turn all that down. So, but the mirrors were just like blurry anyway. So I was like, what's the point? Can't even see.
What is a video game sound that still haunts you?
Oh, the Outlast intro. You know, it's the when you're getting chased and it's like the bit that I can't, and I can just see Chris Walker. I can see him with his coming after me. It's just that like it's like the and I use it as a jump scare in my in my streams. People can use it, but that gives me goosebumps. It's a horrible noise. It's like the Psycho thing. It's like
Hmm.
that. It's like, oh
Because games are great for that, right?
yeah.
You remember things because of the way they sound, the way they
Oh
feel.
yeah.
Have a lot of games stuck with you because of that?
Yeah, definitely. I think especially playing the horror genre because it is like the jump scares and like the like when you pick up items as well, there's like certain things that go like make noises and things like that. And I think there are, I mean, it's even like certain phrases in games that I love. Like I love I mean, where's everyone going? Bingo. That is just classic. But yeah, it's like certain things like that people say as well. But yeah, like there's you just relate certain things. And even like with ones like Spyro when you get a gem. Do you know what I mean? It's that noise and it's like childhood. I don't know. I love it.
Because I mean, again, Antonio did it, but there's like a list you can get, like 10 great sounds that mirror of your childhood. And like the Tony Hawk completion, the Vice City completion, or like falling down in Tomb Raider. Or there's so
Yeah.
many of them. I mean, I've written down here because my answer was going to be like either the scratch noise in Pokemon, or
Ah,
in Metroid when you're in the water in
yeah.
Metroid 2, and it's like the screeching noise. I hate it.
Oh, it's the weird, horrible, high pitchy horror.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you just oh yeah, no, they're the worst. They're the worst. They're great.
they are, but
Yeah.
they stick to you.
Yeah, they
Um,
do.
is there a game or series that people will be surprised to learn you haven't played?
Um, what? Oh, that's a good question, actually. Any Dark Souls games never touched because they're too hard. I've tried one, but because people always ask if I've played like Elden Ring, and like Dark Souls games, and I know is the answer to that. And I think I'm too gullible. Like, I think I played Elden Ring, and then I saw on the floor it said jump, and I jumped. I jumped. So yeah, I think a lot of people think that because I do play a lot of the action games and they're quite dark as well, the Dark Souls games, aren't they? You know what I mean? I think it's just, but I think you need a lot of skill for those games. I don't have the patience, so I just, for me, never picked up those. Or World of Warcraft or anything like that. People do ask about World of Warcraft and things like that, and I've never. And actually, The Walking Dead, that's the one I get. Like, why haven't you played The Walking Dead, the Telltale series? I'm
Mm.
like, I don't know. I just haven't. But I think it's quite slow to stream, I think that's the thing, and it's not for everyone. But I've never really picked it up myself. So yeah, those three really. I get asked a lot about those. I'm like, oh no, I've never done
It's tough with The Walking Dead and stuff like that, because if you're going to stream them,
that. Mm,
the ending, which for the game itself, it does obviously justify it, but the ending
yeah.
of you playing it and them seeing you is a journey that
Yeah.
needs to justify the start. Because
Yeah,
if you start streaming and go, I'm streaming this for a week, it's going to take
yeah,
the first
yeah,
few days are going to be slow, aren't they?
yeah, yeah,
And the
yeah,
viewers
yeah.
need to be really invested.
Yeah,
I
that's
do get
it
that.
because there's not a lot of action. It is quite chill, and I think those games are nice to play on your own as well. Like I love the Life is Strange games, but I'd never stream those. Like, I know they're because Dark Pictures Anthology it has the horror and it is funny because it's like there is a lot of pressure situations, whereas like Life is Strange it is again slow, but I love them. But it's something I would play off stream definitely. There's certain things you can stream, I think, and there's certain things depends on your audience though. I suppose you kind of have to read your audience a bit, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, got a question about that later because about retention and stuff. We'll get into that later. But
Yeah.
like, so my last question then is, so you've mentioned obviously horror games and Resi and all those kinds of different things, but is there a game or even a series that you are just surprisingly elite at?
Oh, what am I really good at? Um, I think I think Tomb Raider is that one. If that's like, I'm trying to think what else. I think like yeah, because I think the ones that I grew up with, because Tomb Raider was just one that I like really did grow up with. That is one that I know I could boss and just be fine with. Um, yeah, I'd say that one definitely. But any game that you have to run, but then to Outlast, I could probably speed run Outlast now. To be fair, I probably could. Um, because there's no fighting, it's just running, but not on nightmare mode because things are I'm a saver. If it's really funny actually, I get ridiculed for it so much, but like I save things 100 times.
Mm.
So when I'm going through the game, you best believe I'll save it. But no, I've done a couple of the resis on hardcore mode and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I think Tomb Raider is my game. I definitely think that if someone said, right, you've got to do this and you've got to do it at the best ability, definitely that one.
So have you not got like a hidden talent for bus simulator or like anything that's like completely niche?
Joe, I don't think I've ever played. I've never played the simulator ones, you know. I've never. They look great though. The Power Wash Simulator looks the most satisfying thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, please do it.
Literally,
Please do it.
yeah. I think I will because it looks amazing. Yeah, I've never really played those. I've done. They're probably like the easiest game I've ever played is Dreamlight Valley, but it doesn't stimulate me enough. I'm bored. I'm like, I found Mickey Mouse. What now? What I do now? I'm done. So yeah, no. Do you know what? I need maybe that's my new hidden skill, a simulator.
Just give it a go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I tell you, what, I've played Flight Simulator, the flight one.
Mm.
Wasn't great, but maybe buses are my calling. I don't know.
Well, because there's so many like different genres out there that I'm just curious if people would have, because you play someone around like a friend of yours back in the olden days. You go in their house and they're really good at FIFA, or
Yeah,
they're really good at Spyro, or
yeah.
so many different random things you've never even thought about.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah, FIFA. Do you know what? I think FIFA is a bit of a hidden talent of mine, though. I literally beat the person that came on the show the other day at FIFA. I've beaten ex-boyfriends at FIFA. Maybe FIFA is my calling. I think I'm a little dark horse on FIFA. People think, oh no, and I'm like, try me.
but you can't be your partner at FIFA. That's just not on.
It isn't it? But the ego was great. This woo.
People do need humbling sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, there is. And
They
FIFA's the
do
way to do
indeed.
it. Do you
Yeah.
know what I
I've said
mean?
about I am rubbish at most games, but I'm like
Yeah.
racing games and Halo, leave me alone. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
That's
Just
good. That's good. Yeah, Halo. Yeah, I think I need to give Halo a chance because, like, I was bashing them earlier on. Like, oh, Xbox exclusives, but yeah, Halo. A lot of people have a lot of love for Halo, and I can see why. I think I need to give it a go. So, shooters.
I think I'm not going to run on Halo, but I think Halo is like this. There's like World of Warcraft, League of Legends, and there's like an era of games where if you didn't play them at the time,
Yeah,
they've not necessarily aged gracefully. Or
yeah,
because I think Halo's a very, in the best way possible, a simple shooter.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I call it a fair shooter because there's not a lot of fluff there. But if you play it now and there isn't the running across the walls or seeing through walls, or some random stuff that Call of Duty has,
yeah, yeah.
why am I playing it? Is the question you always get. Like,
I think Call of Duty they're trying to overcomplicate Call of Duty. Like it should just be a simple shit. That's what it should be. Like I had to used to stream Call of Duty for a gaming company. I don't think they run anymore, but I had to like stream it once a week and we are doing this rookie to prestige thing. And I actually got all right. I did get okay, but like it is though. It shows with those games, it is time and effort. Like you have to practice at those games. Like you have to. That's how you get good. And if you're doing it every day or every week or whatever, then you are going to get good. But like it's bad, really. It's like muscle memory and those skills, and because I never really pick up Valorant, and I get asked to do Valorant and Fortnite and things like that, but it's just not my thing. But
mm,
you can always give it a go.
yeah. And so we'll move on then to our last section, which is create a spotlight. So in this section, it's your chance to, especially someone in the industry, chat about content you enjoy. And if you want to name names, you can, of course, of users and creators and stuff like that. But just give us an idea of the content you enjoy and why you enjoy it.
So I love a lot of like festival content. So I do love a lot of interviews. I mean, one of my favorite interviewers is Zane Lowe. I used to, when he goes around and does those, like, I don't know, I think for him, like, that he was always like someone that I looked up to in the industry because of the way he does conduct his interviews. They're like conversations. So I love content like that. If I like an artist, I like kind of like off kilter kind of things. Um, so yeah, mainly a lot of music stuff really. I do like watching recaps of gamers, but there's no one in particular that I've kind of like watched yet. I haven't really sort of like adapted to like certain gamers and things like that. But like when I scroll through, I'll see some people like I like watching people react to the games that I've played. I have get a real kick out of that. Do you know when you like know there's a jump scare coming and you're like, oh, how are they gonna react? I love content like that. But yeah, anything musicy really, festivally. I like comedy. Comedy is a big one for me. Because I used to do a lot of sketches, and I'm going to start doing those again, really, on like TikTok and stuff. But yeah, I love comedy stuff. Anything lighthearted, really, that isn't too serious. I'm a fan of.
I like the fact you mentioned Zane Lowe, but also like going through these people that you scroll past or you might even seek out. What is it about that person or the company or the channel? What is it about them that would keep you engaged? What would keep you staying there?
I think it's something, I think for me, it's like watching someone a little bit similar to myself. I think I like watching people that are quite quick-witted and funny, or like something is like cleverly done. Like it's quick-witted, it's quite funny, it's light-hearted, like captures you straight away. But you know, not in like but because I'm interested in funny, I like witty, I like that kind of stuff. So if someone's kind of giving that, then because that's what I do. So I think, I don't know, I relate to it. So I think that's what I gravitate towards.
And can you sit and watch longer form content? Is it something you're interested in, or is it more just to go as a quick fire, bang, get in, get out?
I can, you know, and I think that's the thing. Like, I think it's so hard to make content now when you're thinking, you know, about like longer and shorter form because like it's a shame that like so many people can't watch long form anymore. It makes me really sad. You know, like they want to be hooked and you know, and that's what it is. It's they tend to spam, but I love long form. If I'm really into something, like you know, like say like someone's funny's on Chicken Shop Date or something, someone that I like know, you know what I mean? And that's like only like 10 minutes long, but like for nowadays that's long form. Do you know what I mean? Compared to like, but yeah, no, I can sit down and watch stuff definitely, especially like Zane Lowe's interviews. Because they're about half an hour long, and I'll watch them all the way through. And Nardwuar's, because Nardwuar is just a bizarre human, and I'm here for it.
So like you said about like quick witted and stuff, but quirky and creative has got to be one. So I'm surprised you haven't mentioned Chicken Shop yet, because it's
Yeah,
those things that stand out. Like I mentioned Kevin Hart earlier, like
yeah.
their own kind of appeal to them, and not the boring sit down in front of a TV or a booth thing.
That's the thing. I think if you're going to make longer form stuff now, you need to have a quirk and you need to have something like weird and just a bit random, which is why like we did the bathtub and like, you know, Chicken Shop Date's so clever because it's in you know, it's a weird environment and it's just a weird chat. And it's like, you know, it's different. Like, you know, we don't really do traditional's not a thing anymore, unfortunately. So
I think it can be
yeah,
if it's earnest and low
yeah.
key.
And yeah, it depends on the platform, I suppose, as well. If it's
Mm.
on a certain platform, yeah, I get that.
Because one of my big turn offs is if I turn on a channel or whatever, and it's like proper YouTube shouty boy, like it's
Oh,
over the top
no.
effort and put just talk to me, please. I
Yeah,
don't need to worry
it's
about
like,
this shouting
whoa.
match. Yeah,
Yeah,
too
I
much.
get that. It's kind of, yeah. And it just, yeah, especially, and then you see a brand pop up and you're just, oh God, I get what you're doing. Yeah, I agree.
And so again, we're called Champion the Gamer. This is the bit where we flip it, and the guests struggle here, but that's why I love it. Why should someone be following you?
Ooh, yeah, yes, it's self pushing, isn't it? That's why. Well, if you like funny, if you like people, I love to interact with my community. I literally love it. I love you to throw me off kilter. I love you to join in. I love you to create things in the community, like especially like some of the subscribers have made some great stickers, things like that. I think it's like it's really fun, very light-hearted. I get stressed. You can join in. I let everyone name names. I let people name zombie names and things like that. There's Barry, Margaret, Gary. There's loads, you know. But yeah, if you want a good time, just have a good laugh. That's my content all over. My streams are always really fun, really light-hearted, and I get scared very easily, which is very funny. So that's me.
Because obviously, talk a bit about where we can find you. Because obviously, you've got your Spill the Sound page, you've got your own page, you stream. Like, where can we find you?
So if you want the music show, Spill the Sound on, and it is just at Spill the Sound on Instagram, TikTok, and the main show is on YouTube. So you just type in Spill the Sound and it should come up. And then for all my other stuff, it's just Louise Schofield on Twitch, on TikTok, and Instagram as well. My streams are TikTok and Twitch, so you can watch on both. And if you want to follow all my presenting stuff, that is on Instagram mainly on Louise Schofield. So yeah, just type in Louise Schofield and I shall hopefully appear. If you say my name too many times, I just come up like Beetlejuice. So
Hopefully, a bit more friendly.
bit of funny, yeah.
Yeah. So, have you got like any like goals or directives you want to try and accomplish?
Yeah, I think for me, like I'm still building the streaming side of stuff, and I think like for me, like I really want to build. I mean, a bigger community. So like we have lots of people kind of joining in and stuff because we've got a Discord and stuff, and it'd be nice to have. There's a conversation going on in there, and I just think the more people that come in, the nicer the conversations, and it keeps building up. So I definitely really want to build this year and going into next year, like keep building the community. I'm going to do some more like connective lives as well. So I'm going to do my first like just like live me talking today. So I've never done one of those before on my phone. So yeah, I just want to build up a community and have like a nice space and keep building that. And because we've got some lovely people in the community, and I think like people are making really nice friends, and they're starting to play games with each other, and like they're like arranging for themselves play Phasmophobia or something like that. And it's just really nice like space where people can, if they're feeling a bit lonely or they're feeling a bit down, like they can jump in their community and just like, do you want to play a game? And they're like, yeah, sure. So we want more of that. So we want to keep more people connecting with different gamers and definitely all that kind of stuff.
Is it fair to, and it may not, I mean, interpret it how you want to interpret it, I suppose,
Yeah.
but has gaming and any kind of content creation full stop, how has it helped you?
Massively. Like I think there was a period where like I had like no work coming in and it was like making me really low and I was just like, oh my gosh, there's nothing. What am I gonna do? Like, I mean, I need to fill my time and like, you just think, oh, I don't know, like, because that for freelance, it can be those times where it's really this amazing highs, but there's also a lot of lows when you're like, especially in presenting because it's a bit like being an actor. So like, you can get loads of work and then suddenly like everything's kind of dried up a little bit and then you got to wait for the next thing or you're emailing people to get the next thing. So I think gaming for me, it really filled that gap. And I think when I started to do it properly and I started to get these people in and there's some really lovely people that they are very open on the stream and I really like that. And they said, I've been really down today and this has cheered me up or like, like I didn't want to be in my own head today and I've drawn your stream and it's made me feel better. And that makes me feel like 100% because I did that to like, stop the noise in my head and be like, I want to concentrate on something. So like the fact my stream is like helping people and, it's saying you've really like changed my mindset today or something. And that's amazing because that's why I started streaming. So the fact people are coming in and having that positive flip on their own mental health, I think that's really special. And I think when you don't realize that until you start it and then you're like, oh my gosh, that's amazing, the reason I started it is the reason why you're staying in here and feeling better. So yeah, that's a huge one. I think it's a great thing to do.
I think it speaks volumes about the person that's able to have the energy to do that. Because
Yeah,
one thing I think that gets lost in translation is it's great to have the idea of I'm going to set out to be positive and lovely and wonderful and welcoming. It can be tiring to do that because
a
you
hundred
can be down
percent.
yourself. So I always give credit to those that deserve the ones that deserve. Let's rephrase that. I give the credit to ones that deserve the credit for putting that
Yeah,
out there
I,
because it's hard. It's so hard.
I completely get what you're saying. Yeah, because it is. It's like you've got to pull it from a place, and because you don't necessarily, you probably won't. People wouldn't know that. You know what I mean? Because you've got to be the positive face, and yeah, it's tiring when you're trying to pull it from a place where you're like, I'm so low right now, but I'm trying to pull this from a place that I just don't know, and But I think the good thing is, like, I think if you are pulling it, I do find that when I come off the stream, I actually am a better mindset. So, it's kind of pulled it. But yeah, it's tough. It's so tough. And so many people do it as well. And you just don't realize people are doing it either. You know what I mean? People are very good at hiding it, aren't they?
But this goes back to what you said earlier, which is about doing it organically.
Yeah.
Because this, okay, yeah, the promote tools are there. That's great. You can do that. Of course, you can. Please do if you want to. But
Yeah.
if you have a founded organic piece behind you,
Yeah.
has created this like little community, that support then goes both ways.
Yeah.
It isn't you presenting yourself, and then when you're down, people go, "That's not the same person." It's, "Oh, she's down today. I
Yeah.
can help her," sort of thing.
That's it. They're not jumping on artificially. They're literally getting to know you as a person and like they see you as a human. And I think that's really nice. And people, and that's what it should be all about. That's what current community is all about. It's about, investing in the person. And I invest in them as well. Like, I'll get some messages like personally on Discord and say like, sorry, I haven't been in your stream. I've been feeling like this. And you know what I mean? And it's nice that they can do that. And then I'll come back to them and be like, oh my gosh, like, only ever join when you're feeling up to joining, you know what I mean? So, I think it's that boundary, and that's nice. Like, I don't want anyone to ever feel like they can't. And I think as the creator, you should be able to be like, yeah, guys, I've not had the best day today. And they'll be like, rally behind you. That's it. It's all about creating organic followings for sure.
Yeah, and then that then opens doors for you because of going back to your press passes and stuff like that. Talk a bit about that kind of it for a brief second. How do you go about doing that? Is it an easy process of getting press passes and getting these invites and stuff like that? How does
So
that come
I
about?
think, yeah, I'd say I think no, I think it can be and it can't be. I think it depends on your brand. I think like because I think when I first started doing it, I had a YouTube channel, so I kind of like, and I did do some stuff with BBC Wales when I was based in Cardiff, so I did do a few bits for them, but I did do my own stuff as well. So I think like it's kind of like just being in those spaces and like you've got to kind of go and get stuff, but it's how you sell your product as well. Like I used to, so when I was just doing it for my own YouTube, I'd sell the product like to the high heavens, and I'd be like, I'm going to cover this and this. I had a blog as well at the time, so I was like, I'm going to put it on the blog and I'll also do interviews. So you're giving them a lot of stuff that are okay, great, it's legit. But I think because I know the first press pass that I got, I think it was for Liverpool Sound City, a festival in Liverpool, surprisingly. And I was like, right, I'm going to do so many interviews. And I did loads, and I did absolutely loads. So when I applied for the next festival, I was like, oh, well, these are all the kind of interviews I do at this festival. And it just snowballed then. So I think once you get one, you've got to really own it. That's my advice, really. I think now, though, I didn't have TikTok then. Do you know what I mean? So like now you're on TikTok, I just feel like festivals and press passes, they want more influencers coming through. I'm not an influencer, but that's what they want, like more like influencers. So I think it's probably easy in that respect. But for interviews and stuff, I think if you've got a brand, but it's so easy to film yourself and do stuff now. And if you show you're doing stuff and at festivals, I think you can get one, but you've got to apply yourself 100% and be like, look, this is the content I make. This would be great for this. Can I get in? So you got to kind of, but it has been a hard process. But then now, like, I'm quite lucky. Like, I can email some festivals a couple of weeks before and be like, oh, I'd love to come down and do press. They're like, yeah, sure. Do you know what I mean? So you kind of build yourself up in the industry, and, and they're like, oh yeah, we'd love you to come down, or like, you can have some free tickets to come down. And, and it's hard to get to that point, but the graft, you have got a graft still, I think. I think people forget that sometimes.
I was going to say, is there a misconception of how hard it is to get into this sort of thing?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I think people think, oh, I'll just do a couple of this and I'll be fine. And it's like, and I see a lot of people do interviews and they're very half-hearted, in my opinion. They're not talking to people properly. They're asking very, like, they're reading like questions that they've just, they've probably just come up the day before or something like that, and they're just gone, oh yeah, cool, that'll do. So yeah, I think you have got a graft. I think just like come across well, because if you don't come across well and you interview an artist and they're like, oh, I didn't enjoy that, you're not going to get another interview with them again. They'll be like, oh, that was not for me. Do you know what I mean? And so I think like you've got to really, I think if you're going to do something, just do it properly, because you never know who you might have to do again, or like, or get the opportunity. Like, you might interview someone and they might get absolutely massive, and then you're like, oh, but I can't do that again because I messed up the first one. You know what I mean? So I think you just got to apply yourself for sure.
And I think it's about staying consistent and authentic to you. Because if you do, I mean, again, you're 64, fantastic. But if I get to
Yeah,
100, let's say,
yeah,
let's put a number out there,
yeah,
out of 100, there's a percentage chance that one of them would have been boring, or they wouldn't have liked my questions. But if consistently you show that you're trying to put the right message out there,
yeah.
that one then becomes 1 in 100.
That's it. That's it. And I always said that when I first started interviewing, my ethos was always like, I'm going to interview every band the same. So like whether the band have 100 followers or they have 180K, like they're going to get the same interview. They're going to get a personalized interview. Even if they've got one song out, I'm going to make it as personalized as possible to every band. And I think that's what I've always done. And I think that's why, you know, people have always like, been a fan of it. And, and now I'm at a point where like people really want interviews, and it's kind of getting the time to do those interviews with everyone. But because I've put the effort in, I can never do an interview where I haven't put the effort in now. Like I hate it. Like, so even if I do off the cuff ones and they're like, can you interview this band in the next 5 minutes? I'll be on my phone. I'll be looking at their Instagram, I'll look at their Twitter. I'll be looking at like there's anything I can grab to go. I do not want to ask questions that are mundane. I need to ask questions, and it's like a compulsive thing now. Like I cannot ask bad questions to a band. Like I can't ask stuff that's not personalized to them. So yeah, I think that's the thing. I think but it's all about caring. If you care enough, then you'll do it. I mean, and it's a lot of effort, but it's worth it in the end.
Because I've done a video on it. If everyone can be a streamer, right?
Yeah,
Everyone can jump on the thing and do it. But if
yeah,
you could be a full-time streamer day in, day out, could you actually do it?
that's
Because
it.
the effort it takes and the behind the scenes no one sees is very, very difficult.
Oh
And that's
yeah.
one of the things I'm going to say about yourself and, to glaze you a little bit was it's obvious that you love what you do. And because of that, we love you loving it, if that makes sense. So we then jump
Yes.
on board and it makes it easier for us to engage with that sort of thing. So when we see you getting all hyped and everything, seeing a new band or promoting a new band or doing whatever it is, we love to see you do it.
Yeah.
So, fair play to you because it's not easy, but it's clear that you found something you love. And so
Absolutely.
fair
Oh,
play to
that's
you.
it. And when you find something you love, and you're passionate about it, like it's just the best thing in the world. Like I mean, it just flows out of you because you're enjoying what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like there's no forcing anything. You're just like, I love it.
This has been amazing. We've learned a lot, and I've learned a lot about you, which is great. And we always finish with a bit, which is there anything you want to finish with?
Oh, that's nice. I mean, just be nice to people. You know what? And if you want to go and do it as well, like be nice. If you want to go and do something, just go and do it. Like that's what I would say. Like I think we hold ourselves, like we were saying at the beginning, like you hold yourself back so much on things. And I think if you've got an idea and you think it sounds stupid, I put bands in a bathtub, right? I put them in a bathtub and I chat to them, right? That sounds ridiculous. It works. You know what I mean? I don't know if it was going to work, but hey ho. So if your idea sounds stupid, just do it. Like just give it a go. Be nice to everyone and enjoy what you do. That's the only thing you can do. If you enjoy your content, it's great content, in my opinion. So,
It's the same message I've said before and I use myself as a self-deprecating example. I speak
yeah,
fast, I talk
yeah,
slow, I talk, whatever it is. I mumble, but
yeah,
putting yourself out there makes you feel more comfortable. And
yeah,
in doing that, everyone feels more comfortable with you. And it's just, be who you are because the internet is so endless that
yeah.
somebody somewhere will like it.
100%. And like no one else can be you. That's what I always think as
No,
well. Like you are the only person that can be you. Like no two people are the same. So that's your biggest asset, I always think.
I like analogies and stuff like that. My old maths teacher used to say in a
Yeah.
test, the examiner is not trying to take marks from you; they're trying to give you marks. So
That's
think
so true.
think positively. You start on
Yeah.
zero. You start on zero, and you're trying to get to whatever the number is, 75. You're trying to get to 75. They're trying to give you marks to reach that, not take it
Yeah.
away. So
That's
show
so
the
true.
working and work hard, and then
Yeah.
keep being you, and it will come in eventually in the end. And I've
That's
always
so true.
enjoyed that. I think it's a really positive way of looking
That's
at
a really interesting way of looking at it. Yeah, that's so true. That's so like life analogy as well, isn't it?
it.
Yeah, that's it. I like that.
Yeah. Take it with you.
I'm gonna take it with me. I'm gonna tell everyone.
No, it's been amazing. I've absolutely loved it.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been so fun. Thank you so much.
No, of course. You've been episode 64, and I'll catch everybody on the next one.